Hey guys, happy Wednesday. How's it going? Okay, so I want to talk today about something I heard my friend Christina talk about in her live yesterday. She touched on this subject, so I just want to give credit. She's the one that inspired me to talk about this topic today. It's something that I heard her talk about in her live, and I kind of thought about it afterwards, and I was like, yeah, you know what, this is a really good topic. I think this is something that a lot of people could relate to, something that a lot of people struggle with. So I'm going to talk about what are emotional triggers and why is it so important that you know what yours are. Okay, so basically start off by explaining what is an emotional trigger. Well, everyone has triggers, okay? It's basically a weak point. Maybe someone, and it's usually kind of like the same thing, okay? It can be, it's usually, it's something that can cause you to react negatively, and it is usually negative. I mean, triggers aren't usually positive. They're normally things like weak points that cause you to react negatively to a person or a situation, okay? And so, we all know people that, and it's usually people that are close to us, that know how to push our buttons, right? They know what our weak points are. And so I want to give you some suggestions on maybe kind of like helping you guys figure out what your emotional triggers are and how you can kind of prepare for them ahead of time, okay? And just for transparency, I'm going to tell you, like, I made a list of what a couple of mine are, because I'm not going to sit on here and act like I don't have any. I definitely have emotional triggers, and just for transparency, I'm going to tell you what a couple of mine are. And yeah, I'm also like, in the past, I have definitely probably been a trigger for somebody else too. I mean, there's definitely been times where I've said and done things to people where they've reacted negatively to me too. So just for complete transparency, yeah, I have triggers and I have triggered other people before, okay? And so I feel like it's really important to put that out there before I talk about a topic like this, because I know it can be quite a sensitive topic. I mean, no one likes to think that they have triggers, but we all have them, okay? And it's how we handle them that makes the difference, okay? And so like I said, we all know people that, and it's usually people that are close to us. Maybe it's like our family members or a husband or a wife or our kids that seem to kind of like know us better than other people. I mean, it's not normally, like, if someone's able to trigger you, it's normally someone that you know. It's a stranger, a complete stranger should not really be able to push your buttons. Like, if a complete stranger is able to push your buttons, that's a tough life, because there's far more people in the world that are strangers, and there's far more people in the world that don't know us than do. And if you're triggered by a stranger, that's a tough life. I mean, that is really, really hard, okay? And so, half the time, people that we deal with, that we know, they know our weak points even better than we do. Okay, so I did make some notes, okay? And I just kind of, when I made my list, when Christina did her live yesterday, and I was kind of like thinking, what are my triggers? Okay, because this is a really interesting thing to think about, okay? So a couple of mine are, I feel like I get triggered when I'm not being listened to, okay? And so those of you, like, if you have kids, drop in the comments below. I mean, you know what that's like, right? And like, it's really hard to get like your kids to listen to you sometimes, and sometimes like even I have to like think, okay, they're just children, right? I can't like expect them to always listen, okay? Their attention spans are not that of an adult, okay? I mean, like, there's far more interesting things that they would rather be doing than listening, okay? And so sometimes like I have to remember, like, yeah, like, they're children, okay? They're not, and even like adults too. And like, that's one thing. I don't like not being listened to. And it's more like when someone's intentionally not listening, or they're trying to like act as if like what I'm saying isn't important. And the second thing is, and it's really, really like, this is something that I have to really work on, but I don't like it when people get in my face. Like, have you ever had someone just really come at you? Like, maybe they're like getting right in your face, maybe they're like people that stick their finger in your face. Like, I really hate that. Okay, that really like don't do that. Like, do not do that to me. Do not put your finger in my face. Maybe it's someone like they're talking down to you, maybe they're trying to like bark orders at you, like, you know, maybe it's like a family member, maybe it's your mother, like, or maybe it's like someone at work, they just get in your face, right? They like, that really like irks me. And even I have to get better at, like, I mean, people don't generally get like that with me. Like, I don't walk down the street, people don't generally get in my face. It usually is kind of like just one person that I kind of every now and again have to deal with, and I'm kind of like ashamed to say that I'm not very good at just walking away when that person does that to me. So that's something I have to work on. I have to work on getting better, that when that person gets at me like that, I have to get better at just walking away. Okay, so they're basically a couple of mine. And the third one, that's not really a trigger for me. That's something just like people that feel like they're entitled to something. I don't, unless they're bringing that to me directly, I wouldn't say that's a trigger. Unless someone is kind of like coming to me like they're entitled to something from me. I put that on there anyway because it is something that I don't like. People that are like, they feel entitled to something, okay? They're demanding, right? And so they're my three main ones. And like, if you make a list of what you feel like your emotional triggers are, just things that like, and get really like, I had to like writing these down. It was not easy for me to write these things down, but I had to kind of like, you know, get really real and honest, because like, you know, now that I know what mine are, and if you do this and if you write down what some of yours are, like if you feel like you're triggered often, it could help to write them down and really know what they are, because then you can work on changing them. Like, it's when you like don't know that there's a problem, that something you don't know. It's like, what was it people say? What you don't know won't hurt you. Well, it's not. It's what you don't know that will hurt you, okay? Or what you know, or that what you don't know won't hurt you something, but it's what you don't know that hurts you, okay? And so like being aware of those triggers and being aware of things that you might need to work on changing. And like I said, for transparency, they're mine, okay? I don't act like I don't have any, okay? I probably couldn't talk on this if I didn't have any, because I couldn't relate to it. Anyway, and it's like, I want to give you some, because basically like if you're going into a negative situation, I wanted to, and you know that you get triggered, maybe I want to give you some tips on how to maybe not be so triggered. Like, I'm just going to be really real honest. There's someone that I have to deal with this weekend, a person that kind of pushes my buttons a little bit. And so I wrote down some tips on how am I going to handle that situation, and I just want to share them with you, okay? So I'm going to be doing these things too. So if you know you're going to be dealing with someone, it could be your boss, maybe your boss triggers you, maybe it's a work colleague that you don't like and they piss you off, or maybe it's, you know, maybe it's even someone that you live with. You know, you find that it's like the same kinds of people or the same situations that trigger you often. I'm going to give you some suggestions on how you can, because why you need to learn your triggers is so that you can better handle them when they come up, okay? And so, you know, knowing what they are can help you deal with situations and people that trigger you more effectively, okay? It's when you don't know what they are and you just kind of like react to everything. Because if someone knows, trust me, if you've got some maybe toxic people around you and they know they can trigger you, they're always going to do it. They're always going to, because it's so easy. Like, if it's so easy to trigger you, why would they stop? Right? So the first suggestion I have, if you know you're going to be dealing with a certain type of person that triggers you, or a situation, like, because we all have people around us that do it. I mean, I know it ain't just me, okay? So the first suggestion I have is take a minute to take some deep breaths. Like before you go into a situation, like let's say you're going into a meeting, or you're going to meet someone, and you know, someone who you maybe normally you feel anxious around them and tense because maybe you just don't like them, you know, maybe they're mean, maybe they say things to piss you off. Before you go to meet with that person, for whatever, whoever it is, take a minute to take some deep breaths. Like get yourself into a really calm and peaceful state. Because if you go into meeting this person or these people and you're anxious and tense, if they say something to annoy you or do something, if you're already anxious and tense, that you're more likely to be triggered. You're more likely to react negatively, okay? So try to get yourself in a peaceful state of mind and take some deep breaths. Like, don't underestimate the power of just breathing. Like, just really taking some nourishing deep breaths, okay? It revitalizes the body, it's energizing, it can elevate your mood, it can clear the mind, okay? And then the second thing, visualize how you want it to go, okay? Visualize in your mind, just take a few minutes and just close your eyes and visualize how you want the situation to play out, okay? Like, don't overthink it, don't worry about it, just sit and close your eyes and think, how do I want this to go, okay? And then thirdly, write down on a piece of paper what you want to get from the situation or the meeting. Like, what's your objective? Like, why are you meeting this person? What's your intention? What are you going to get out of the situation, okay? Because I'm assuming if they're a person that triggers you, you're probably not just going to hang out, right? You probably have a reason. Maybe you can't avoid it. Maybe it's your ex and you've got to meet them for the children. Like, maybe it's your boss and, you know, you can't avoid them. It's someone that you can't avoid, okay? Like, write down what you want to get from the situation, okay? Like, to clear your mind and get clarity, okay? That's what that's for. Next thing, look for the positives of dealing with the person and or situation. Like, I know sometimes it can be hard when you're dealing with a really kind of negative person that just pushes your buttons, but try hard to see the positives in dealing with that person. Like, is your life going to be better in any way from dealing with this person? Are they helping you in any way? Have they helped you in the past? Are they, you know, you may not really enjoy dealing with them, but, you know, there'll be something positive, okay? And so, like, you know, like I said, is this person helping you? Is it your boss that you don't like dealing with? Like, be grateful that they pay your wages. Or if it's a co-worker that you don't really enjoy dealing with, is it, you know, do they make your job easier? Would you have to work twice as hard if they weren't there? Would you have more work to do if they weren't there? Like, just really try to see the positives, okay? And like I said, when I deal with this person at the weekend, I'm going to do these things too, okay? I mean, like, if you know what your triggers are, you're more likely to, and you prepare for them ahead of time, you're more likely to respond to any negativity that might come from them in a more positive way. And you're less likely for your triggers to win. You're less likely for your triggers to get the best of you. Because if you're always triggered, if people always have the power to get a negative reaction from you, that's a really hard life. Like, nobody should have the power to make you feel negative. It should be impossible for people to make you feel negative. Other people should not be able to control your emotions, okay? Like, other people should not be able to have power over you. Like, you are the only one that should be able to have power over you. Like, even if it is your boss, like, yeah, they've got to pay your wages. You have to, like, treat them with respect and all that stuff. Like, they're an authority figure, yeah, but other people should not be able to control your feelings, okay? And if someone is able to trigger you just through their words or their petty actions or whatever it is that you don't like, it's like you're just their slave. It's like, that's slavery. If people are able to control you, like, slavery was abolished like decades ago, wasn't it? I mean, but it is like slavery. If someone's able to control you with their words and they can manipulate your feelings and get these negative reactions out of you, and you make it so easy. Like, we all have people that are around us that they trigger us all day long, and they would do it all day if they could. Okay, and so that, unfortunately, like, some people, they know our weak spots better than we do, and I'm really glad that I saw that live that Christina did yesterday, and I wrote down what my triggers were. Like, I was thinking, I don't have that many, do I? I just gave you like the 3 main ones, but I wrote down like a few more. I was like, oh my god, but this is good. I was thinking, this is good. This means that I'm aware of them and I can change them, and I can like not be so because yeah, like sometimes there's one person in particular, they're always looking for drama, they're always looking for a fight, and you know I'm not always very good at walking away from it, and I should be. I mean, as a 32-year-old woman, I should be able to walk away when someone wants to engage me in drama, okay? So that's good, and I'm super grateful to Christina that she did that live and brought up. Make sure I didn't miss anything, because I think it's a really important topic, like knowing what your triggers are. Like I actually wrote down, like, stop dancing for people. Letting people manipulate your emotions, stop, like, if people can manipulate you, they're always going to do it. Like, if people know they have the power to get a negative reaction from you, because that's how they feel important, right? That's how they get their satisfaction for the day, right? they're always going to do it. Don't give people that power. Like, don't give away your power, don't give away your emotions. Not everybody that you meet in life deserves your emotions, okay? Yeah, be nice to everybody, but don't give away your energy so easily to people that just want to steal it, okay? And so I hope that was helpful to you. Comment your biggest takeaway. Please do that exercise. I mean, writing down what your triggers are, I mean, just becoming aware of them is the first step to changing them, and like accepting that you have them. I mean, like, you know, like I did. I mean, I don't want to write things down that I'm triggered by. It's embarrassing. It's like, really? That gets to me? But it's good because it means I can work on changing it. So I hope that was helpful to you. Comment your biggest takeaway from this video. If it was helpful, share it with someone who you think could get value from it, or tag them. I'll be super grateful. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.